Today we're going to add a little watering can to our hand. I previously outlined it, but I'm going to show you how to basically add metal to your work without sewing it. But first, let's get this started. Let's see, I'm going to start this way. Start on top like I usually do. I thought she needed a little watering can, and I'll probably put a few flowers to finish it off. Not sure yet. I was going to put some little flowers in the bucket, but I'm thinking the bucket's a little too small for that. I guess I could do tiny little something, but then again, that wouldn't make sense because she's going out to water the flowers, right? Okay, let's tack this down. And then we'll snip that off in a minute. But for now, I just want to tack it down to make sure it stays down before we snip it. And sometimes when I do it that way, it automatically goes in on itself and I don't have to snip it at all, which is great. Okay, this time instead of pearl cotton, the girl I used, her outline, I used pearl cotton. This I'm just using regular embroidery floss in black and 2 threads, 2 strands of it. And I'm doing a split stitch, which, you know what? Let's pull this up a little bit. See how that candle, the handle is not quite curved. So I'm going to pull it up with a little couch stitch here. There we go. Then I'm going to split this stitch to make it, my goal is to make it to look as one continuous straight line as possible, or curved line in this case. Okay, so that's a point, and I don't want that there. So I'm going to manipulate this thread up and over. And for some reason I call that my little tack stitch. Tack it down where I want it. So if my voice sounds a little funny, I'm getting over laryngitis. And we have had a sick household here for about a couple of weeks. And now my son and his family are getting it, so it's going around here in North Texas. I don't know about y'all, if y'all are having any stuff like that going around. But it's the weather. The weather it's cold one day and hot the next. So we are having crazy weather. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to come up on the handle, which there's 2 handles, of course. That's where she usually carries it. And then it's got this little swing handle on top. And she's carrying it that way. Let's see. I think, yeah. Okay, we got to curve it again. So if any of you are watching and like journaling channels or journaling or whatever, I do have a separate journaling account now because I didn't want to mix it. I'm wanting to stay straight stitching on this channel, but if you're into journaling as well, I'll link it below in the description. And that channel is doing really well. I didn't realize how many people love to journal. So we can do that. Okay. I can link that below. And you can see it, and I've got all sorts of fun accounts. If you like my style and everything, I've got a blog and a Pinterest and a Tumblr. And my blog is where I show a lot of pictures of my actual home. But again, I'll link all that below. I always forget to link stuff, so I am not going to forget this time. Let's see, do I want to... yeah. Okay, I'm trying to decide because I don't want to do a lot of stitching, outline stitching, because of what I want to show you can do instead of filling this whole thing up, because this would take forever. And we could have done this too with her little dress, but since it was a white dress, I decided to leave it the regular canvas color. And I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. Okay. I hope this looks like a watering can by the time I'm done here. Okay, yes. Okay, let's start here. May have to change my thread here in a minute. But I know it goes wider on the bottom, the spout, and narrower at the top. Okay, but we get the idea, right? Just work with me. Let's pretend it's a watering can. Let's get this little round area, and then I'm going to show you what to do for filling an area when you don't want to satin stitch, when you don't want to chain stitch or whatever, you just don't want to fill it. I'll show you a very fun, cool way to handle that. And I did the same thing with my mason jar, but you just didn't see the process, so I will show you that here, because I thought, you know what, that would be cool to show. So I will do that. Okay, we almost made it, yay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let me go get the stuff. I forgot the stuff, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's zoom in here. I took it out of the hoop so you can see a little bit better of what I'm doing, and here it is, just regular colored pencils. These are cheap, just a Crayola brand, and this is what I do. So I come in here, I kind of scratch my material with it. And of course you can only do this, obviously, on white or a very light colored fabric. But this saves so much time. And then what I do is I take the darker the darker gray, and I just put it where it would naturally be darker. I just shade it around like that. I guess black would be good too, because that would go over better. Okay, just like that. And that'll give you a more, try to get this in the light better. That'll give you that metal look. And then you can take your white stitching and just do like little highlights to make it more look round and stuff. Well, let's see, do I have any white? Let's do that real quick. See, that's what I did with this mason jar. So, and then it looks like, I made it look like water. Well, this is what you can do to make it look like metal. And then I just added the highlights, so you can do that with this. Do I have white in here? I do. It's sewing thread, but it'll work. And I won't need a real big piece to show you what we can do. But that's the whole idea in embroidery, is to, especially embroidery painting, which this really isn't embroidery painting, but is to make it look as real as possible. Okay, need my glasses here. Okay, we don't need that. Now, since I'm doing a very fine highlight, I'm going to tack it down in the back here. Again, I hate using knots, so I'm just going to go a little bit into the weave here and secure it. Okay. So now we want to make it look kind of, we want to highlight here. So let's do, and I don't even know if this is going to show up. Maybe a little bit. And then let's do a tinier stitch here. And let's do one down here. You probably can't even see it. I can see it on my end. Just bring it closer. Let's do a little more highlight. And see, 4 little tiny stitches and a little colored pencil, and you've got your whole thing done. But that's what I was saying about her dress. Her dress, you could use the colored pencil and color that in, or maybe color in, you know, skin tone there, but I didn't want to mess with that today. I just wanted to show you the little watering can, and I'll probably just leave her like this, because I like the white on white look. Okay. Kind of round it, but you get the idea. So now you have, by doing it this technique, you can do water, see the little tiny lines, or you can do metal and get that same effect. So, and then I'll probably add a few black dots in here for the water to come out, but that is exactly what she needed. Now I'll probably just embroider a few flowers, or maybe little wildflower. I may do that and then show you at the end of this video. You know, I just thought I would just finish this flower real quick on camera for you. So I'm just using some I did kind of a grayish greenish brown or tan color for the stem. And this I'm just doing, instead of white, the white wasn't really showing up, so I'm doing like a khaki color to where it'll show up better. Okay, making sure I'm in camera here. I do my lazy daisies weird, so bear with me. I love to top stitch. I can get it done quicker. Instead of going like this, up, under, and down. I like to keep my hand on top the whole time. Like so. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see. And I turn and turn and turn and turn. I'm all over the place when I sew. How about y'all? Do y'all keep turning your projects around and around? This is another reason I really don't care for hoops, but because I can bend it and get it the way I want it, because I'm a top stitcher. And for those of you who don't know what top stitch is, I pretty much explained it a second ago. But this, see how my hand is underneath the fabric? Well, a top stitcher keeps his or her hand on top, like that. Instead of going down and grabbing the needle, they just stay on top. Get it like that. Okay, can I make it? Let's see if I can make it. I'll have to go down this way this time, because I got to get it just in. It's another thing I like about these real thin beaded needles is they bend a little bit. Of course they break too, but they can bend sometimes just when I need them. We have our flower. She's finally watering something besides air. And let's see. So this is what I wanted to do. Now, what we could do, if you wanted, say you wanted to make a blue flower, or you wanted daisies are white. Well, I guess they can come in other colors, but you wanted to make the white brighter, so you could just do like little blue highlights in there. And it's not going to be a huge difference, or maybe I wanted more green in my thread. I could outline that with a little bit of green. Okay, maybe you wanted to do a little patch of dirt. Now you can stitch this. Let me zoom in here. You can stitch this, or just take your pencil. Now, obviously you don't want to do this. Sorry about the bounciness. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay. So you can stitch this, but obviously you don't want to do anything that, like on clothes, because I don't know if this is machine washable. I do need to, I doubt it. So I do need to check on that. So you just do it just a little, just to give it like a hint. And maybe she's walking on a little path here. And I could stitch that really quick, but you get the idea here. So let's zoom back out. And then what I'll do is I'll put it back in the hoop and put a bow on it, and it'll be done. And you can also put some different color. This purpley color would show. So if you want to add a little bit of color, you can do that with the purple. And see, it just gives it just a hint. just a hint. So, and then if you have better quality color pencils like Pentel or something like that, you know, a more expensive brand, or pastels or something like that, you can really get the pigment on there better. But I'm just doing this just to show you how it could look. So that's cute, little purple flower, but hopefully you can see that. So anyway, that is what I wanted to show you today, is what to do if you don't want to do a filler stitch. Just a quick option that we have that you can do. So I've seen a lot of embroiderers do it like this, and some will do watercolor. Watercolor is great, wonderful, but I suggest you test it because every fabric's different. Some fabric it'll bleed out too much. So you want to do just a little bit, and that's why it's best to outline it first so the pigment doesn't go past. It usually won't run past the line. So anyway, that's why I use pencils, but most people use watercolors. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.